In today's video, we'll be embarking on an interesting research where we'll be asking ChatGPT 4 for 5 product ideas that could make us 6 figures on Etsy by the end of 2024. But here's the twist. We're not just taking ChatGPT's suggestions at face value. Instead, we are going to rigorously put these ideas to test. We would analyze their market potential, competition, and demand to see if they are just sparks or potential gold mines waiting to be discovered. Coming into ChatGPT 4, I typed in what are the 5 digital unique product ideas I could sell on Etsy to make 6 figures on Etsy by the end of 2024. And ChatGPT responded and said, creating unique digital products for Etsy can be a lucrative endeavor if you type into the right niche and market effectively. So pay attention to right niche and market effectively, because this is going to determine how well a product is going to do within Etsy. So it says to aim for 6 figures by the end of 2024. Here are the 5 digital product ideas that could have high potential on Etsy. The first product that we'll be looking at is personalized digital artwork, custom digital portrait, family illustrations, pet portraits. So these can be offered in different style, whether it's watercolor, line art, or caricature, and it could attract a wide range of customers. We'll be heading over to Etsy and we'll be checking out if this particular product is viable. Coming over to Etsy, I typed in custom portraits because that is one of those things that he mentioned that you could sell. And let's see how they are doing on Etsy. And for this, I'll be using my favorite research tool, Everbee. I've already installed that. I will leave the link to Everbee in the description box in case you want to use it to do your own in-depth research as well. Here, I'll just click on Product Analytics and it's going to pull in all the information I have on the first page so we could understand what is the demand for this type of product, what's the competition, and how much are people making from this type of product. Looking at the listing that we pulled at the front end here, we'll just filter by monthly revenue. You could see that this has made over 51,000 Canadian dollars for the month, and it's been sold for about $24. And if we click into it, you could see that this is a faceless portrait. As you could see, right? You could see that if you could create this type of portraits and able to sell it on Etsy, you could be able to make a whole lot of money from it. That one I found would be this as well. This has a bit of face, it's not faceless, but this particular store as well is making lots of money making custom portraits. Another one that you could also do would be pet portraits. You could convert pet images. So let's just click into one of the ones that are selling so well. So you could see that they have a photo here and then you could be converted to watercolor. There are a couple of AI tools that you could use to create some of these effects and it could be done in a couple of minutes. For all the products I'm going to talk about on this video, let me know in the comment section the ones you want me to do like an in-depth tutorial on, and then I'll definitely come back to that product. These are the type of products that you could look into. But let's also understand what is the competition, what's the demand. Going back to Everbee, we are going to click on Tag Analyzer. This is going to show us what the competition is and what is the volume of search. So volume of search is equivalent to demand, while competition is how competitive is that keyword. Let's look at some of the keywords. There's some keywords that I found that are doing really well. I can click on filters and here I'm going to say keyword contains, I will say faceless. And just by looking at just faceless, you could see that the competition is relatively low. If it's above 50,000, then it becomes a high competitive keyword or niche to target. But you could see here, this is 13,251, and you could see that the search volume is reasonable. So you have things like faceless portrait, you have things like custom faceless. These are the kind of keywords, if you want to go into this, you should be targeting. Another one that I found very interesting as well, so instead of saying faceless, it would be custom line drawing. This is another type of a custom portrait that I noticed is picking up on Etsy as well. Let's look at custom line. You could see here in terms of custom line drawing, it has a reasonable search volume, and you could see that the competition competition is not so much. If you look at this is 16,000, this is 29. It's still a niche that you can make products on. And from what we can see, if you look at the revenue here, you could see that these stores are making a killing, making custom pet portraits or custom portraits for human beings or even faceless portraits. In my opinion, I would say that this suggestion is very viable if you know how to execute it and execute it really well. The second product that ChatGPT recommended for us is called Printable Planners and Journals. Design a range of digital planners, journals, organization tools, things like fitness journals, budgeting tracker, meal planner, and the rest. Coming back to Etsy, I typed in planners and journals. This particular product is very popular on Etsy. And something that I need to mention that is very important is ChatGPT does not take into consideration things like trends. So you have that in mind, or even emerging niches, you will need to pay attention to that. Typing in planners and journals, this is about 457,000 results, but we want to see, is this still viable? Because it can be quite competitive because planners are very popular on Etsy. So I'll just click on product analytics to pull in all the data we have on this front page, and we'll just sort again just to see the ones that are doing really well. These are a couple of planners that are doing well. You could see how much they are making. Looking at digital planners, let's just click on one. Even though ChatGPT suggested things like printable, I would suggest for you to stick to digital planners. This is a digital planner that is created specifically for you to use on an iPad or a tablet, or you could use it as a PDF on your computer. And you could see that this product has done so well and featured in multiple places. And you could look at some of the planners they have generated and you could see if it's something that you could look into. There are a couple of keywords that I found when I was researching on these, which is not entirely very saturated, and I want to show you that you could look into if you're considering selling planners in 2024. Going back to Everbee, we're going to click on Tag Analyzer because we want to understand the demand, the competition as well, and see the keywords we could target. Looking at some of these keywords, you can see how competitive they are. But let's filter by search volume and filter by competition, scroll to see if we could find something that has reasonable search but not such a heavy competition. So things like Google Sheets seem to have a reasonable search volume but not so much high competition. But I found a couple of keywords that I feel that you need to pay attention to. Let's go to filter, and here I'm going to type iPad monthly planner. This is the search volume is about 2,500, which is really good, and you can see that the competition is quite low. This is about 13,000. So if you could create planners specifically for iPad, you would definitely have customers to serve within this niche without having so much competition. Another keyword that I found that is doing really well or that is emerging as well would be Good Note Planner. You could see here that the search we have for Good Note is about 1,362, and the competition is quite low. First of all, we've established they are viable because people are making a lot of money from it. Then in terms of demand, people are looking for it. It's not so much, but the volume is reasonable. And then in terms of the competition is quite low. 7,000 is nothing compared to competition you find on Etsy. These are things you need to pay attention to. One other last keyword I need to bring your attention to before I move away from this product would be ADHD Digital Planner. This particular planner seems to be doing really well, but I would suggest if you have to do anything with ADHD digital planners, be sure you understand what the ADHD is all about. Don't talk about topics that you're not too familiar with, but if you are, this is a good niche or keyword to target. You can see that the search volume is reasonable, and then the competition is not so much, it's about 19,000. These are some of the things I've found out when it comes to things like digital planners. The third product is educational materials and courses. So develop digital courses or educational materials on popular topics like crafting, DIY, or even Etsy store management, and you could sell them as PDF guides. Coming to Etsy, I typed in specifically the word nursing just to see if there are products that people are creating educational content for, and I found this particular store called Nurse in the Making. This store is doing an excellent job. Even though they are selling physical products, they combine physical products as well as digital on the store, but they're doing so well. Let's pull in some of the data within the store and see what they are doing. This store as well don't have so much discounts. Majority of the items you see here is exactly how much they're selling it. And you can see some of their products here is making over 256,000 Canadian dollars. And what exactly are they doing in the store? So let's go back to the store and see what they are doing. You could see that they're selling things like nursing school. This person is clearly a nurse and understands what the nursing career is about, and have put together different things like flashcards, nursing school bundles to help nursing students excel in nursing school, which it's really a great cause. And you could see that people are buying these products heavily. This is one of those items I feel like if done right, you could do so well because it's so niched. Not everybody, understands the nursing career. Then another one that I found that was interesting would be this particular store called Upstrider. This Upstrider, what they do is to sell products for businesses, specifically Etsy businesses. You could put in a PDF together on how to find your niches. You could make a checklist for your e-commerce website. You could put in different digital products in a PDF and you are selling it. If you can be able to put together some educational content that you could sell that is specifically to a niche, I'm sure that you are going to make a whole lot of money. And I definitely agree with ChatGPT on this particular one. The next product that ChatGPT is suggesting to us to help us make six figures by the end of 2024 will be customizable templates. So things like business branding kits, where you can use tools like Canva or Adobe Photoshop to create those templates. And from my experience so far, I know that these kits sell really well. So I typed in at the very top here, business branding kits, and here it gave me over 17,000 results. It's not so much. If you're able to tap into this and do it well, then you would make a whole lot of money. Let's just click on the product analytics and pull this in and see what is going on within this specific niche. Let's also filter. As you can see here, we have branding kits. So let's click into this particular product. Here, let me show you something from this left corner before I go into the product. You could see that they have things like search volume and competition. If you're using keywords like Canva templates, it has a decent search volume, but you could see the competition is quite high. You would have to look at specific keywords that you could target that would make you stand out within this niche if you decide to go over this niche. Here they have social media template bundle for customizing your social media account. Another thing that you could offer that I find out that people sell really well would be things like website templates. You could help different businesses brand their websites. And then finally, the last product that ChatGPT suggested to us is craft and DIY project patterns. This particular one, I haven't even thought about it before. I saw it, I was like, okay, yes, we have talked about patterns on this channel, but for DIY and for crocheting, I decided to look into this and the results was really incredible. Here you can see, says, if you have a skill in crafts like knitting, crocheting, or woodwork, you could sell digital patterns or guides for this type of DIY project. Let's head over to Etsy and see what we found. I typed in crochet patterns just to see what people are selling. So this is different from digital paper we have talked about. This is for crochet specifically. And when I click on the product analytics and do the sorting, you could see here that this particular one has made 54,000 Canadian dollars. This is 34. These are just crochet patterns. These are digital products. They're not the crochet themselves. Let's click into one of it and see what's going on. So here you could see that here things like crochet toy, the volume is a little bit reasonable, but the competition is high. But when you start looking at some keywords, some of the keywords like crochet pattern, crochet birds, the search is not so much. The competition is not so much as well. You need to do a bit of more in-depth research. Let's go into the store and see what's going on. You could see that what they have here specifically is patterns that you could create from the patterns they are selling. So you could see that these really look cute. And looking into the store in depth, you could see that they are selling basically a digital file. And this digital file is what customers purchase, and then they could use it as their knitting pattern for their DIY crochet projects. This particular product is one that I've not seen anyone talk about in recent times, but if you want me to make a more in-depth tutorial about this, let me know in the comment section below. To wrap this up, there's an advice that ChatGPT gave, which I find very interesting and so true. It said to succeed in reaching a six-figure income, focus on these key strategies. One, market research, which is what we did essentially in this video. Understand your target audience, understand the trends, and in terms of the demand as well. Then look at quality and uniqueness. Try to stand out. Ensure your products are high quality and offer something that is unique. Then try to engage your customers, build the social media presence. Then he gave another strategy. Make sure your SEO and Etsy shop is optimized. We can't emphasize this enough if you really want to succeed on Etsy. And lastly, consider cross promoting your products on different platforms. What do you think about these products? Are there ones you have tried, and what have been your experience? Let's have a conversation in the comment section. And if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, kindly hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on your bell notification to know when next I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.